Greetings and salutations to you all. Once again, it is me, the Ravenous Spectre. Like the Dragon Age shirt, one of the greatest freaking RPG franchises there are out there, bar none. It's fucking amazing. Go play it. You will not regret it if you haven't played the series or anything like that. But yeah, this is the one that isn't really liked too much. I liked it, you know, I just wish that there was more areas to explore like there was in Inquisition. And Inquisition was freaking amazing. My game of the year that year when it came out, but that's beside the point right now. The reason I'm making this video is the fact that I have given up on Xbox. I am selling my Xbox One. I've already gotten rid of the games. I ended up selling a Gears of War controller to one of my friends. I actually got really good trading credit at a locally owned game trade shop. I didn't trade them in at GameStop because they're vampires. They're just going to rip you off. They're going to buy low from you and sell high. You know, we all know about that. So, no chance in hell. No chance! That's what you got! No chance in hell that I will ever be selling to GameStop ever again. I'll buy from them, all well and good, but when it comes to selling, hell no. I'd rather keep my stuff or sell it to somebody for a price that I asked for instead of what a corporation thinks that I should get for it. Fuck that. Anyways, back to the topic at hand here. The fact is the reason I'm getting rid of it is, honestly, now this is just my personal opinion, obviously, Microsoft doesn't know the meaning of exclusives. They don't. One of the reasons that people get a console that they do is for certain exclusives that go to it, like with Sony or, you know, PC. Obviously, that's not a console, but PC has its exclusives, Sony has its exclusives, Nintendo has its exclusives. What does Microsoft have? Halo and Gears of War. Well, whoop-de-fucking-do. You know, there's not enough there to warrant, to me, actually having the system. Granted, there's a lot of multi-platform games that go to it, but then again, those same multi-platform games, well, it's multi-platform. It's going to Sony, it's going to PC. You know, sometimes it'll go to Nintendo if Nintendo ever pulls its head out of its ass and actually embraces third party, which I hope they're doing now with the Switch, as they claim that they have. Just because they claim it doesn't mean they're going to do it. You know, they cock tease us about stuff like that. But I am just, honestly, I'm done with Xbox, especially with the fact now that Xbox wants to basically merge with PC. They want to have where you can play across PC and Xbox, and you know, that actually kind of got to me a bit because at one point in time I ended up hearing that PlayStation and Xbox were in talks. I don't know if it was a rumor or not. It may have been a rumor about how they wanted to embrace multiplayer together and actually have Xbox and PlayStation owners be able to play together. That didn't come through, obviously. And, you know, Microsoft is obviously big in the PC space as well as they are now with the consoles, with the Xbox One and Slim and Scorpio and all that crap, which I don't give a crap about. You know, that's the kind of thing that gets to me. You have the Xbox One, you got the Xbox One Slim or Slim Ass or whatever the heck it is, and now you got the Xbox One Scorpio, and now here it is now, it's like you have the PlayStation 4, you got the PlayStation 4 Slim, and then now there's like some other PlayStation 4 that's supposed to come out. I'm like, oh God, I was like, hell with all that, you know. I just stick with what I got, and when it dies, I'll just go to a next. I ain't dealing with all that upgrade shit. Come on, man. It's just a little increments that go up in terms of upgrades, and they want you to pay the same damn price as it was for what you bought the first time. That's bullshit. It ain't happening. You know, just implement them into the system itself. And I just, fuck it. But, I am going to sell my Xbox One. I've already sold the games. The place that I went to, I think I got like $232 in trading credit for the games that I ended up trading in there, which was a hell of a lot better than what I got at Shitstop. But they could have either given me $150 in cash, or they could have given me $232 in credit. Now this is a store. Anytime I go to it, I'm always going in there and buying something and walking out with it. So I was like, you know what? If I ended up, I would screw myself. I think like out of $70 or $80 or something if I didn't take the trading credit. So I said, well, screw the cash, I'm going to take the trading credit, and I did not regret it at all. Which actually there's going to be a video coming up at some point dealing with the pickups that I ended up doing there. But it's really just come to a point now where I am not caring about Xbox. I mean, I do have a 360. I actually recently ended up getting a 360, as a matter of fact, that it came with two controllers. it came with one of the wires that you would connect to the 360, so you don't have to have batteries or a battery pack in it, so you can just use it like that. Which I also have a wired controller as well, so technically I've got 3 controllers for it, but they don't have the backs on them, which is all well and good. It's no problem there. But it came with the console and the hookups and all that, and it came with a Kinect. You know, yeah, it came with a Kinect, 2 controllers, the little hookup extension wire thingy, so you know you could play without batteries and all that. And it was $70. So yeah, it was a slim too, by the way. It was like the 500 gig slim or something like that. So all well and good. I actually have been picking up some exclusives, as a matter of fact, for the Xbox 360. Some that I used to have back in the day when I used to have a 360 and 360 Slim. But I'm pretty much done with the Xbox One. I don't care about the Scorpio. It's just it just seems to me how the way that they're structuring their whole process with Xbox, just it's not there anymore. It's just not. I mean, you got Sony and PC. They just have exclusive after exclusive after exclusive that come out. And even then, Nintendo, for example, Nintendo now, they sit on a whole lot of series. They got a whole lot of series, and they haven't even made games for yet in those series, that they haven't for years and years on end. And even the ones that they're making games for now, they still outweigh Xbox in terms of dealing with like exclusives. You know, I'm just like, Microsoft, why can't you get on the ball with stuff like this? You know, you go and cancel, what was it, Fable Legends or something like that? You go and cancel that. You go and cancel Scalebound. You know, it's just a cancellation after cancellation deal. We haven't heard anything on Just Cause 3 or nothing like that. Don't even know what's going on with that. I'm like, it just seems like stuff is just so up in the air with Microsoft and Xbox. I'm like, I'm just done with it. You know, if that's your specific console that you play on with multi-platform, then all well and good, because there's obviously going to be a lot of multi-platform games that are going on there. But I just sat back and thought to myself, I'm like, why am I owning this console if I'm going to get the exact same games on PS4 or PC that are going to come to this one, and there's nothing that stands out or that's exclusive for me to keep the system? That was the reason that I got it in the first place, was for exclusives. And Microsoft just screwed the pooch and shit the bed with it, and I'm just like, the heck with it. You know, I've waited long enough. I've waited to hear news and all this other stuff, and all I hear about is multi-platform, multi-platform, multi-platform. There's nothing exclusive there. There's nothing special about the system to me that ends up wanting me to keep it. Plain and simple. You know, it's funny because, like, the game trade place that I went to, I was seeing if I could actually get cash or something out of that, and they said, well, we have 3 500 gigs already that we haven't sold, so if we ended up taking it, we couldn't give you cash. We have to actually give you trading credit. So I said, okay, well, forget that. I said, I'll just keep the system and sell it myself. I said, but, you know, the games, I would check on that. And sure enough, they ended up, as far as I'm concerned, they hooked me up really well when it came to the trading credit for the ones that I was trading in, because the way that they were actually structuring it on the prices that they were giving me in terms of cash or trade-in, I actually was getting, I sat back and I looked at it, and I was like, you know what? The amount that it seems like that he's going to give me for trade-in was like close to the amount that I would actually charge somebody for them to buy it from me, buy a specific game. And I was like, you know what, that's pretty cool. You know, it was better for me to go ahead and do that than just sit back on my laurels and be like, well, I don't know if these are going to sell. I don't know if anybody's going to buy them, and blah, 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 you know. And, of course, the value would keep dropping on them, and I don't want that, obviously. So I was like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and bite the bullet and go ahead and do this, and I don't regret it. And now I'm just sitting on the fact of selling the Xbox One and just going from there. You know, I have my 360. The 360 had a lot of exclusives, at least more than what the Xbox One has right now. And here it is. It's already come to a second console version, and now a third console version is going to be coming out with the Scorpio. And I'm like, well, there's really no reason for me to keep it. There truly isn't. And it's and you know how the 500 gig is? That thing is like massive. It's like brick after brick, and it's just like big and cumbersome and all that. And I'm just like, the hell with this. And it takes up space. It was pretty much just, it was, honest to God, it was just sitting there gathering dust. That's all that it was doing. It was being in my way. It was just an annoyance, just sitting there gathering dust, and nothing really was being done with it. It really wasn't. So I went ahead, you know, wiped the hard drive and all that, and was like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and sell it. Because, like, the main place where I play at is PlayStation and Nintendo and PC, you know, and also on handhelds and whatnot. But I'm pretty much over and done with Xbox, honestly. So, you know, if you if you kind of come into this channel to, look for Xbox One games and whatnot. I mean, I'll talk about 360 games all day long because I have a stack over here, as a matter of fact, that I got really good prices on them too, man, like really good prices. And one of them, I actually ended up finding brand new of a game that I really had been wanting, and I had no idea that it was brand new until like after I bought it, because I looked at it and it said on the case that it was new, but I wasn't even thinking about it. And when I got it and looked at it, I'm like, gosh, this is one of my sought after game items. Well, I guess it is an item. Games for the 360, and here it is. I'm getting it brand new at like the same price as it would be if it was used. Which is Tales of Vesperia. I love the Tales of games. Big fan of JRPGs and Western RPGs and all that. And I'm just like, oh, so awesome, So, anyways, that was one of the games that I got with the stack. But I have another list of Xbox 360 exclusives that I'm looking to get over time. A good handful of them, and probably once I end up getting those, that'll probably be my collection for the 360. Not getting any multi-platform things or nothing like that. It was just specifically for exclusives. So, anyways, yeah, this is I guess this could either be the fact of trying to make a statement to Microsoft about how they're treating Xbox and not having anything really special about it in order to be able to keep it. And I don't mess with Xbox Live or nothing like that. I actually ended up hearing from a friend of mine, as a matter of fact. He said, when you have Xbox Live Gold, he said when you have the 360 games, you can download those that are obviously compatible with the Xbox One. You can have that, and then if you run out of your Xbox Gold account, if you run out of time with it, you can pretty much keep those and still play those. Although the Xbox One games, obviously, you couldn't play because of them being tied to the account, which I guess the 360 ones are also, but I guess they're just giving you free reign for you to be able to play those without having Xbox Live Gold, whatever. Which is cool. It's a cool idea, but that's another thing. Backwards compatibility. It seemed to me like the games that I had been wanting to play on the One, and that was actually one of the reasons I was going to be keeping the One as well, because I try to think of other reasons for me to keep it, and I was like, well, there's no exclusives coming to it, and all these exclusives are getting canceled, so I said, well, I could just look at the backwards capability of the 360. So I sat back and I thought about it, and I was like, well, let's see what type of other games come out. There was no games that was really coming out. The most recent one that came out that I ended up picking up again was Blue Dragon. And I told myself, well, that's not going to cut it. All these other games that I'd been looking at for them to see if they were going to release them, they weren't doing it. It just seems to me like that was just, in a way, to me, it was just like an empty promise. It's like, yeah, we're going to have backwards compatibility 360 games, and they release like a couple every few months or something like that. When to me, it seems like if you were really committed to this, it seems like you would try to put the entire 360 catalog on the Xbox One and release like a few every month or something like that. It's like, what are you doing over there at Microsoft? When it comes to the Xbox, it's like you aren't having exclusives, you aren't working with backwards capability here. So I'm just like, well, it was just a paperweight. It was just a paperweight to me. So I said, well, I'm not even gonna bother with it anymore. So anyways, yeah, I want to go ahead and make this video and mention that. That I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the Xbox One, and there won't be any Xbox One games reviewed on here, talked about, or nothing like that. And speaking of which, that's one other thing about the Xbox One. Any games that were going to be exclusive to that system are moving on to other platforms. Like they're going on to PlayStation and PC. Dead Rising 4 is supposed to be coming out, from what I had heard, it's supposed to be coming to PlayStation 4, but it's just that year exclusivity on the Xbox One, and I guess now it's finally out on PC, and then after a year it's going to go to PS4. So, and then Rise of the Tomb Raider, for example. I believe that was already said that it was going to be going multi-platform, but it was on Xbox One forever. And then it finally came to PC, and I heard nothing about the PS4 version. And honestly, yeah, that was one of the games that made me decide, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and get an Xbox One and see what type of exclusives come out for it. Well, I played it, beat it, liked it, and now I went ahead and sold it because I'm getting rid of the Xbox One. And when Rise of the Tomb Raider drops really low in price, I'm going to go ahead and snag it on the PS4 and probably go ahead and give it another go. And look at all the extra features and things that they end up adding in with the PS4 version, because they added in some other extra things in there that weren't in the Xbox One version or anything like that. So I said, you know what? That's just the way it is. It seems like it was worth it to me. So I went ahead and just decided to do that. That'd be something. That'd be crazy if they ended up deciding to go and hey, you know what? We're going to go ahead and release Gears of War and Halo on PC. Well, they had been having it on PC, so released it on PC and PlayStation. You know, that'd be something if they ended up going over to PlayStation. Boy, they would have some serious shit when it came to the people playing Xbox and the console fanboys and just the whole 9 yards, man. That would, dude, man. Sorry, I'm kind of rearranging stuff out of my way there. And I'm just like, well, oh well. I wouldn't be surprised if it came down to something like that. That'd be funny. It was almost like the fact when people were talking about, oh, well, Nintendo needs to go third party or something like that. They need to stop making consoles and just make games. You know, kind of like what Sega did when they were just a software developer. You know, and obviously that hasn't happened with Nintendo or nothing like that. But just the way it seems like how the things are going with Xbox, it's like, boy, that would be something if they ended up giving up on the whole console deal and just went ahead and started putting software out. But I don't think that's going to happen. It kind of makes you think about it, though. Honestly, when you sit back and you're like, okay, well, there's no exclusives. They're slow on backwards capability. We're just getting multi-platform games. They want to go ahead and merge with PC, with the PC space. You know, make lovely babies, Xbox and PC babies, mutations or whatever. But yeah. So, anyways, that's my little alibi, my little confession, my little whatever, dealing with the whole Xbox universe. And I will talk at you, lovely taters, later. Probably the next video may actually be the pickups that I had done for the trade-in that I got for the Xbox One games. And I did trade in a couple PS4 games as well. Some that I wasn't playing like at all, or that I had tried and I got them cheap and I tried them and I'm like, I don't like them. You know, like Dead Rising 1 and Dead Rising 2, which were, I didn't like them. You know, can't deal with the whole time limit thing. I hate time limits in games. I tried to deal it with these two games and it wasn't working for me, so I said, hell with it, I'm going to sell them. You know, but Dead Rising 4 was amazing, getting rid of the time limit thing. I think they also did it in Dead Rising 3, but whatever. But any games that I had on Xbox One, I'm just going to go ahead and get on PC, on Steam or whatever when they get really low or wherever I have to get them at, and then just go from there. I'm just going to play them on there, and that way I'll have some of them that were on Xbox One, and then, you know, I don't really have to worry about the console anymore. It's just like I mentioned before about the whole Xbox One and PC deal, just making babies with one another and forming up with one another. So, anyways, that's neither here nor there anymore. But, anyways, I'll go ahead and end this video now. So, later, taters, and have a lovely evening, morning, afternoon, night, week, year, month, whatever. Peace!